You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 19th meeting of the Long Beach Human Resources Committee. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Hi, Meg. So we can now call the meeting to order, right? Are there any public comments before we get started? Does anybody have anything to say?
The city, just so you're aware, Georgetta is on Zoom and all the members are present.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So as we briefly discussed, what we planned to do today was to review the employee handbook, getting it ready to submit to legal for their review. Is there any areas of concern that have not been edited before it's sent to legal? It seemed to me that most of it had already been reviewed and could be ready. Anything? I know, Mike, one of the things that you mentioned in your comments was questioning whether it was legal for the town to set a trigger of 84 hours is the point at which hours will be paid a time and a half. Are we going to just leave things like that open for them to review, or, for them to decide yes or no with comments like that? Or do we want to, do we want to just leave it as it is with 84 and see if it flies, or do we want to bring things like that to special attention? Right. I am not hearing anybody.
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, now I can. It was like, one of those Bueller moments.
Yeah, I would leave the notation next to the 84 hours and get the opinion of the labor attorneys. As past practice has been, just to make sure that we're doing that properly.
Okay.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that whatever we change, whatever's in there is, we're checking with the people that do this day in and day out, the legal terms. Take care of this, they can advise us.
And Cindy, we essentially kind of went through the whole handbook at this point.
Right.
But had a few things that either came up after the fact that we were going to come back to, or things we've since thought of that. So I have a few of those written down.
Okay.
And I apologize that I did not do the best job of kind of going back through my notes yet, but I definitely can do that. We can see what we get through today and then have a better kind of list for next month and do an agenda, anything we feel is still outstanding. But the couple for the moment are the department head. So Mike Conasec had brought up the titles. So the department head, manager, supervisor, etc., and how many various ones are used throughout the handbook. The next item was job categories. So Mark was not here, I think in November, when Georgette and Mike and I had been going over some items, that introductory period, or also known as waiting period for police officers. So we wanted to maybe look at that section. Mark had already said the PTO section. Part of that will be just the documentation on what we are actually, how we are handling PTO and making sure we're reflecting that in the handbook. A note for myself, which I may end up needing help with, but I can also ask Deanna and or Kayla to assist me with the actual documents that need to go with the handbook. I'm assuming we want those completed prior to sending it to the labor attorney. I won't have time probably till, again, early March to kind of spend time on that item. And then we complete yearly employee evaluations, so I don't believe that's reflected anywhere in the handbook. I had a note from a prior meeting, insurance options / benefits. So I don't believe our insurance offering is noted in the handbook unless you think otherwise, Mark.
It was on a list, with the employee, I like life insurance and health insurance, what the employee contribution requirement was versus what the employer contribution was. That was on a list.
Okay. But maybe just looking at those benefits and how they're spelled out in the handbook, if we can improve upon. And then we discussed it a handful of times, the general part-time, so the classifications. Mike brought up, and I chatted quickly earlier, but this resolution 13-001 had been passed a couple years ago that implemented the classification of regular part-time. So when we go to the classifications, I was new as of, last January and had to kind of wrap my head around, who falls under what and what that means for their role and their position and their classification. So we have the full-time classification, and then we have general part-time and regular part-time. So just looking at that again and making sure we do in fact still need general part-time. And then I just have a quick question I wrote down. Would our next step, Mark, be sending this to the labor attorney first or to town council and then the labor attorney?
I would say labor attorney.
Labor attorney, that's what I thought. Okay. So those were some of the outstandings that I think still need, that we could look at. So if anyone has a better way of going about this, we can simply start going through it, or if there's one of those items that anyone would like to discuss first, we don't necessarily have to go in order, but let's see here. I also have written from our last meeting, the new rank in the police. Police training is not in there. Continuing education if required by law. Insurance options, employee benefits, compensation of employees, employee evaluations. Yeah, so some of those we touched upon already. But that's all I have for now. So we think the best way, if we want to actually work on it today, I guess who has.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea if we could just go page by page and, see if there's anything that we need to change. If you don't mind, since you're in the room, just making note of those.
Yeah.
But, like we could probably get pretty quickly to where the first area of concern would be. Let's see, I'm trying to think where it mentions the, department heads. That's on page 4. It, we're going to keep it when it says that, right? In the various departments, it says prescribed by the department heads. So no comments on the side. So I think that should be okay. And I'm just going through on page 7, there's some questions on the side.
Okay, I have had some trouble logging in, so I'm finally getting in touch. So,
So Cindy, I'm sure you can't see this, but I've got a list of all the different, I've got a list of all the different titles
Okay,
that I used in the handbook. Okay?
okay,
And sometimes they talk about an individual as a department head. Sometimes they talk about a supervisor. There's a manager, management. So what the idea is to get the language consistent, right? Throughout.
Right.
You do want supervisor here, the department head here. Can we just go through and figure out which of these titles we want to use in the different parts of the handbook?
Yeah, I love that. You want me to screenshot this and I can text it to you, Cindy.
I'm not seeing.
I can't.
I'm just finally getting in there, so give me 1 second.
So can I go to
All our changes around it.
can I go to the website? Yeah, I saw it, all the changes in those. It's in the, right, in the handbook. Yeah,
Yeah. and, Okay.
Yeah, I guess I can see the document. This is not the part this.
Let me just do a setting.
Yeah.
Let's see.
you have some of the comments, Mark?
Are you seeing comments off to the right or just in the document? I can still,
Right,
no, I don't see.
so this should be, there's a button up on top that says.
Show comments.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I guess mine are not there either.
So it's which file are you using?
The Word doc
Yeah,
that we always used.
and it should, I updated it an hour ago or so.
Okay, so it might just be a view.
Another handbook. Five. Yeah, okay.
So Mark, if you click comments, see,
Yeah, I mean, so this is what you're seeing, right?
Yeah. But you're right, is it not attached to what we actually
No,
do?
not the document.
So we need to get it back to.
That's amazing, all those different titles that are used.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same, so.
Yeah. Same. All right, Cindy, we're ready. So you're saying on page 4, you were making reference to the department heads?
Well, it just, yeah, mentioned it, but it doesn't, I didn't know at what point, how do you make it consistent throughout that, if a department, how many departments are there? And, how many different department heads?
So department head. Do we have any supervisors starting like this, that are not department heads?
Just on the police side, the sergeant, the corporal. Aside from that,
Mhm.
the other department heads are Greg and Tom. We
Okay.
have street superintendent, water superintendent.
Right, so in the outside of the police area, there's only departments.
Yes.
So what I recommend is take the document and do a word search and put in supervisor. Right, and then go to, and then pull it out and see what, you know, what it's saying. Send me some.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cindy, Cindy, do you know what, it showed that you were in the file like 49 minutes ago. Do you know if you changed anything? Like what?
No. I have it up now. No, I don't think I changed anything.
Okay,
Does it say I did?
well, I guess I'm seeing some of our changes. But it seems like a lot of them are, like the first change I see is from JD on page 7. You see that, Mark? or no?
Yeah, I see that.
I see that. But there's things that are crossed out and, you know, editing done before that.
Like you didn't accept changes on accident or anything, did you?
I don't
Because
think so.
basically all of our changes are not
Well, you know what, this has a revision, I mean, this has
to get into previous.
restore. What?
Restore.
No, it.
Or Mike, you said you,
Version control. So you should be able to go back to.
does anybody know how to do that?
Yeah, you go up to, you have to open that.
So here's the handbook.
And click on this little arrow.
Version history.
Yes. Okay.
So that's the current version, so maybe I need to go back to this December 18th. I'm gonna try that once because I think one of you might have, it's no big deal, I think you're correct that we can get back to. But did you make any changes earlier today, you did? You added things? Cause I emails. For some reason, they're not together. It's just you that.
So, that's about, so it doesn't matter. I didn't change any titles.
Right, well, I'm just trying to get back to our notes essentially.
Yeah.
Restore and try this. Working document. Okay, so it's not gonna let me restore it. You know, well, not with everybody in it, but if I restore it, we're gonna lose the changes that you made today.
No, I mean, you go back.
But don't we want it all in one
Yeah.
file?
Yeah.
Okay, but I know it's not a big deal, it's just, we can't see the changes right now.
Okay, and, yeah, that's,
Okay. All right, so back to the titles.
okay. Move to the control that and for the supervisor.
First one on page 4.
Did you get a search box?
I think it's, I gotta get back to that file that's out there now. So.
Okay, so these are all instances.
Mhm.
So if you click the first one,
Page 4.
so it's page 4.
Yeah, it said no statement or promise by a supervisor, department head, officer of the town, appointed or elected official of town Long Beach. So there, I think supervisor should stay.
So that,
Okay, so just accept that, or, I don't know, or
well, we already,
deny it. or something.
well, we already did that one, so
Okay.
it's fine how it is.
Good.
Yep, so we click the next one is page 8. And And I think that one's also okay. So it reads, in addition, the town of Long Beach will not tolerate discrimination by anyone, including coworkers, supervisors, department heads, elected or appointed officials, vendors, and general public. So that was page 8. So I think that one's okay. We actually already addressed both of those sections.
Mhm.
So the next one.
The page for this?
Yeah, I think it's on that same page somewhere, but I'm just having trouble finding it.
Okay.
So that one's okay. So the next one is page 14.
Mhm.
Department heads and supervisors may only access, well, I guess before that. A meeting will be scheduled with the employee's department head or supervisor to review the contents. So I think this one's okay too. Since according to Mark, we do have at least 2 supervisors. The next sentence, department heads and supervisors may only access their department employee files. I think that one's okay. The next one. It's page 32. The alcohol, drug free, and again, we worked on all these sections so far, actually.
Mhm.
So alcohol and drug free workplace policy includes department heads, supervisors, full-time employees. I think that one's okay.
Mhm.
Next one. Page 37 at the top. So. This spot, it says report dangerous behavior to their supervisor. Do we want to change that one to department head? So right underneath it, it says it is the department head's responsibility to, and then it has a few bullet points. So this is all under health and safety, alcohol and drug-free workplace. On mine, at least, it's the top of page 37.
I'd say department.
Yeah, so that one, I'll make that change.
Mhm.
And the next, so right below that, starting with communicating our drug-free workplace policy to both supervisors and employees, so. Again, department head. So right underneath this, it says every supervisor will receive training to help them recognize and manage employees with alcohol and or drug problems.
Well, this would be every department head, that's right. Will police supervisors get that training?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, so to be consistent, we started in the previous section with department head first, so I'll make that change. So communicating our drug-free workplace policy, it says to both supervisors and employees. I'm just going to say to department heads, supervisors, and employees. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, and then the next section with it, so a lot of these out of the 15, a lot of them are on the same page, actually. And the next one we already got rid of. The next one is under limiting travel on page 39, the top. So employees who travel as an essential part of their job should consult their department head and or supervisor. Department head, well, some report to a supervisor, some. What do you think on that, Mark?
I think. I would just see the department head
Okay,
when it comes to travel.
Yeah.
Because you want the department head to approve it.
okay, so I made that change.
Mhm.
And right below it, employees should avoid public gatherings, alternative scheduling options will be provided. Contact your department head for more information instead of supervisor.
Yeah.
Okay. Work from home. Temporary telecommuting should be submitted to your department head for consideration.
Yes.
Is that how that happens with you guys for vacation, Mark?
Mhm.
Okay,
Good.
all right. And then, let's see, what you want. The next one, we already got rid of, and that's the last one for supervisor. Okay,
Did you have a confidentiality of medical information? Is there-
I have that all already deleted
Okay,
on mine, page 40.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah. And then. So manager is in here once, so I'm gonna look for that.
Mhm.
And it's already struck through actually, so we're okay on that one. It's on page 61 at the top, under PTO,
Mhm.
and then management. Okay, the first one on page is already struck through on page 15. Next one is page 24 under information securities and use. Employees should be aware that the IT and management will from time to time review without your notice. And for security liability management purposes, so that's.
Yep.
Do we want to say that still? That to me doesn't exactly mean a manager, it just means individuals managing our IT, but
Typically, the only ones with access, the only ones with access to that currently are our IT vendor and then myself as a town administrator. Not the department heads, so.
so maybe just change it to and town manager, or town administrator, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Town administrator,
Will from time to time review.
and then how about the for security and liability management purposes?
Yeah, that's a different,
That's fine.
That's just.
Yep. Okay. All right, the next one is already struck through on page 26. Next one is the bottom of page 36. So all, let's see, access, this is under alcohol and drug-free workplace. Again, I think that one's okay. In compliance with relevant laws and management and policies,
Town policies, I think that you.
town policies. I'm okay with that.
I agree.
Okay. Mhm. Next is the top of page 37. Both employees and management have important roles to play. And this is under alcohol and drug free again.
Department heads.
Okay. And then now we're at the top or middle of page 61 under employee benefits, PTO continued.
Mhm.
And it's a section labeled, actually, yeah, it's still called management. It follows with each department head is responsible for encouraging their staff to use their PTO time. And
I don't have a problem with that one, Stan.
yeah,
Mike, your thoughts?
Wait, I'm sorry, the first, in the first paragraph,
Under PTO?
yeah. Does it say management, that's management, that's the responsibility to provide.
Yeah, see, you don't have to change it. So that one is already strong, but it still does say management. Dash each department head. Are you okay with leaving that? Yeah, okay, all right. And, I think that was the last one.
Yeah, so all the other ones are struck out.
Heads commission,
Yeah, department heads commission.
matches.
Matches.
They might.
Oh, searching one, so it's on page 18. Looks like it's on 18, under employee responsibilities. It's kind of a table. So the department head and employees will write up the issue with as much detail as possible and present it to the department head's commission or advisory board. So no commission is really the department heads, right? Would we just want to say, present it to the is what department heads, I guess, you and myself maybe report to the town council,
Right.
but it's the council's not really a commission.
What section?
This is employee responsibilities, employee relations / problem resolution, page 18. So it says, if the department head is unable to resolve the issue, the following procedure should be followed. Department head and employee will write up the issue with as much detail and present it to the department head's commission or advisory board. So it's trying to say you would go above the department head to a committee or board. And we actually say it in the following sentence too, as well. If the department head is involved or named in the complaint, the employee should go directly to their department commission or advisory board.
Would the police advisory board be the right, resource for that, for those issues? Then would
You
that
asked with
be?
the police commission?
Yeah, I mean, would that be it sounds like if the department head employee, if it's presented to the department head's commission or advisory board, I mean, where would it be presented?
Yeah, we may need to spell this. Oh, because then it says right there, police, those are the boards. So police advisory, public works, building commission, town clerk, treasurer, park board. Because all of those have a department head essentially. Where employees report to that department head. So if you're gonna go above the department head, you would go to the entire commission or board, is what we're trying to say.
What's a commission?
Like the building commission. And we have the,
Okay, I didn't know that they were commission. I didn't.
yeah,
And like the APC is sometimes called Commission Advisory Plan Commission. But that one doesn't have any employees that can report to it. I think because we state those 5 items, we could just say and present it to the commission or advisory board.
right, because like the fire department is fire commission.
Do we want to add that one? But they're also not employees,
Right,
so they would do the same thing, but they're not governed under. Right, under the handbook. Is everyone okay with that, to just remove that department heads and just say present it to the commissioner?
commission,
Yeah.
advisory.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's good.
It is a little confusing, I think we all know what it's trying to say.
right,
This is where people, try to get this in the language of people instead, right?
I think leaving, well, the fact that we spelled it out, I think is what makes.
yeah, I see each one there.
Okay, and then in the following line, if the department head is involved or named in the complaint, the employee should go directly to their department commissioner advisory board. Again, does that make it clear or not?
It's condition. What's the example?
Yeah, like, the building commission employee would go above the department head and directly to the entire building commission. So I think we could just say the or their commissioner advisory board,
Mhm.
you know, if the water
I
department.
didn't say, common administrator.
Well, the town administrator is a department head. So if somebody wanted to not bring it up to Mark, this is saying they can then bring it up to the entire board or commission.
That, the council, because the commissions are not, have no authority to do. Do it. I don't think that.
But for example, the water employee, yeah, maybe we don't, I don't know. Maybe we don't want this anymore.
Take it to the.
This starts out like saying that if the department head is unable to resolve the issue.
Yeah.
The following procedure should be followed.
Yeah.
The department head and the employee will write up the issue with as much detail as possible and present it to the commissioner advisory board. If the department head is involved or named in the complaint, the employee should go directly to the commissioner advisory board.
I think, you know, I don't think it has a sense of.
I think, yeah,
It's not,
I think Mike's right. It would come to me first and then I would take it from that portion to the next step
yeah.
and involve the,
Okay,
powers that be.
so do we want to leave that first bullet point? And then just remove this second one? Let's see what that third one says. Commission or advisory board along with the selected member of the HR advisory commission will review and investigate the written statement of complaint. Yeah, is this what would happen? We're kind of saying no. That it would go straight from Mark to possibly council, and it would not come before this,
Yeah.
before us.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. Well,
I agree.
I think this may have happened in the past, but I think the way we are current day, I think you're both correct that it may not go this way. So let's, aside from what's on there, let's just talk through what the procedure is then.
so they go to the individual that they're having a problem, right? And they go to the, department, their department. And then they go to the town administrator, and then they go to the town.
So if the department head is unable to resolve the issue is then brought before the town administrator.
Mhm.
Administrator. The town administrator determines if the issue should be brought before council.
No, I think it would be, if the administrator can't solve it. Then I think the individual has to take it to the company.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
I think if the town administrator can handle it, it's done. If the town administrator can't solve it, I think then the individual has to put it down in writing and take it to the town council. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a town administrator job. So,
well, if an employee's bringing it to the administrator though, you think it's, how is the employee supposed to bring it before the council?
I think they should,
I'm just-
put it in writing and send it to the.
So maybe Mac put in, if the town administrator is unable to resolve the matter, the employee may submit in writing the complaint to the town council president.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Thank you for taking the lead on changing, by the way.
So, I'm gonna scratch, so are we just going to then remove the rest of, about the commissioner boards? Is
Mhm,
that?
mhm.
Okay, that-
Yeah.
And then how about that third bullet? It
The commissioner
ends with,
advisory board.
yes, we probably want that last, no employee will be penalized, still there.
Yes.
Do we want any part of that third bullet to be kind of amended and left? With kind of changing it to the town admin, for example. For example, all investigation interviews and findings must be documented. The town administrator will determine appropriate resolution based on the investigation and state and federal labor law compliance. And then, I guess, do we want to leave that? It's interesting.
So Meg, why are you removing if the department head is involved in doing the complaint?
If,
Because I.
which part are you under?
First, you're telling us if the department head is unable to resolve the issue, then it's brought to the town administrator. But what if the employee doesn't want to go to the department head? If it involves the department head,
Do we need
I
to
feel
spell
like we
that out?
need to keep something, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
Can you
under
direct me to which, because I left,
under that little table, you took out. If the
Oh.
department head is involved in any complaint, I think we need to just change, they go directly to the town administrator, correct?
Yes. They may.
got it, okay, so how do
So
I,
take out their department commissioner advisory board.
figure this out? This one, So we're just leaving that. Okay, so if the department head is involved or named, the employee should go directly to the town administrator.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my computer's going a little slow. And then in that third bullet point, I'm just gonna get rid of. Do we want to change it from the commissioner advisory board to the town administrator will review and
Mhm.
investigate? Yep, okay.
Yep.
And we are removing that entire table, right?
Mhm.
And. Hmm, And then I'm getting rid of that department head and the employee, right? Because this is the point, we're saying there. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that was the department head part, where it said commission. We've got the word commission a few times. Do we want to look at that?
Sure. Yeah.
And I guess really quick, because we're making our way through this. Mike, is there anything else? We could work on this. This is your last meeting, correct? Is there anything else you would like to go over? Or before, because this might take us. It's taking a little while, yeah,
Let's do it
yeah,
off,
so.
outside of the meeting.
So, but this is another issue that we know about, so this is the detailing the benefits for the, introductory period. We were, Mark, while we were gone, we started looking at this, and we had gone through this about some of the, what some of the answers to this. This is what we're doing, and
Oh, same thing.
it, maybe slightly different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
It should be, oh, okay, so, it's shot out. Look at, no, it's in the, it's in the,
Informed.
yeah, in the forms, yes. This document,
Right, it is,
so, I maybe it's easier to read, but
and I'll,
what we did was we took each class, each employee classification. And we said, what benefits are they entitled to? So if you're regular full-time, regular part-time, temporary part-time, temporary full-time, seasonal, or, probationary, introductory period. Because it was a little difficult for Meg and others to remember who had what and why. So on the left-hand column is the words taken directly out of the handbook. And then it says handbook section, what section in the handbook, and then what subsection in the handbook. So, for example, so is this something that we should do? Again, this could be done by someone else, right?
Yeah, we can look at each of the bullet points and see how it reflects how we're doing it.
If it's short, I mean, some of it, I don't know, I took a guess at some of this stuff.
Yeah, like when I'm looking at the section for bereavement leave, that's just for the full-time employees.
oh, and another item with PTO that Mark and I had discussed. Our regular part-time employees, we were thinking we need to increase the PTO. So I think they are allotted 32 hours each year. They cannot carry over, and it doesn't increase until year 6 of employment. So whereas our full-time, that section in front of me, but, so that was one of the items that is kind of part of this discussion of who's entitled to which benefit.
Yeah, but you compare that to the police officers. Police officers get way to pay them off.
Well, any full-time employee list.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
the part-time employees,
yeah.
I feel that 5 years is a long time, but,
But how does it compare with the, towns around us? That's the question, not what we think.
with the towns, what, sorry?
It's how does it compare with communities around us?
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, but so on this, introductory period, so you look at,
Well, just so,
like perf, I do perf and the Hoosier start to have 1 year waiting period.
No, that's immediate for both of those.
Well, but there's, but they're not,
They're for full-time employees.
they're not. well,
actually, they're not though, because we say, we changed this, page 48. The following is a listing of benefit programs available upon start date of regular full-time and regular part-time employees. And that includes, see, I think we might have bereavement pay incorrect then. Because it used to only be regular full-time employees.
Right.
And
So that's exactly right, because the book says all regular full-time employees, well, we don't, they're not full-time, they're not. You can't have it both ways, you gotta, if they're full-time employees, then put them in full-time. But the point is, you gotta have the documentation has to align with what you're doing, right? So we need to, get the documentation on, not what our practices, but what the rules say.
well, and also, so if you scroll down to page 57, which is still part of benefits, this is where. I guess there is a column for 6.67 hours.
Mhm.
Because, for example, holiday pay, or even, help me Mark, think which one is based on the hours they worked in the prior quarter? Is that holiday pay
Yeah,
or part-time?
for part-time, regular.
Yeah, so some of our regular part-time only work 6 hours a day. So we don't have that reflected
But
in that table, so that was just a change that also needs to,
that whole conversation, that's based on this, on the resolution
on the classification.
classification.
Well, not really though, because we don't address whether they're regular part-time or general part-time. They're still working 6 hours, a handful of employees, so we don't address, we only got a column for 8-hour employee and 12-hour
Okay, so the resolution,
for regular full-time.
the resolution 13001. This defines, part-time employee, right? And it says, section 2, it says, a regular part-time employee shall be defined as an employee scheduled to work on every day that the Long Beach Town Hall is open for business.
And that's for a regular part-time?
Yes.
So we have regular part-time employees that
Then
do,
one Saturday,
yes, but they only work 6 hours.
8 AM to 2 PM Monday to
We
Friday.
have 2 of them. So that's
I
why
thought they're,
we also have, the, yes, thank you, the building inspector is general part-time, and then there's a deputy clerk that's also general part-time. So,
it's needed though.
But that's what-
He's loaded up on Monday and Tuesday, he may not work.
And he doesn't work Monday to Friday, he works in
Right.
less than 30 hours per week.
And this says they must be scheduled 5 days a week. When this building's open, they must be working.
But he's not a regular part-time, he's a general part-time.
Oh, general.
He's a different
That's
classification.
trans.
Oh,
Can't get rid of that. Because
oh, general. Yeah. This is general, yeah.
this is regular part-time,
This is regular.
right?
The regular part-time employees, we have 2 And the two regular part-time employees currently work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And then we have one general part-time employee, the building inspector, who works no greater than 30 hours per week and may work anywhere from 1 to 5 days a week. It varies. Like in the winter here, I think his last pay period, he may have had 40 hours for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
But then in the summer, so I think we had discussed me doing an exercise of an average of the hours over the year. And then also, an employee in the clerk's office falls under general. There's one more employee that falls under the general classification
Okay.
in the clerk's office based on the fluctuation of hours that, and not being here all 5 days of the week.
but they do not receive any benefits, no PTO, no hours they pay.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do not receive any benefits.
But we also needed to, let me get to that classification page.
So we have two regular part-time employees.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
So after talking to you this morning,
So,
like,
mhm.
sometimes you try and simplify, right? So we rid of all, you have to do all this arithmetic. How many hours in the quarter, how many hours the first half of the year?
Right.
And then you gotta check it, 4 times a year.
For holiday pay, correct. That's what I was trying to see, what else it affects.
It affects their, bonus, longevity bonus, okay?
I don't think they're entitled.
Yeah, it says regular part-time employees who participate in longevity bonus program is defined and approved by law, each employee handbook.
Right, but the regular work set hours, the general do not, and they are not entitled to longevity.
Well, I'm talking about, like,
Okay,
so they will earn 50% of longevity bonus if they have worked at least 1,000 hours the preceding year. And 75 of longevity bonus if they have worked 1,500 hours the preceding year. And then holiday pay, they can either get 4 hours or 6 hours of holiday pay,
mhm,
depending on how many hours they worked in the preceding quarter. So what I'm going with this is, and then the vacation, they can get vacation pay, depending on how many hours they work. What I'm going with this is, that's a lot of bookkeeping.
mhm.
Why don't we just say, you know what? We're gonna make regular part-time, no benefits, but we're gonna give them, I'm making this up, 50 cents an hour under, hourly wage, and say no benefits, but we're gonna give you 50 cents to cover the, what,
Well, how does that work with our current employees then? Are they grandfathered in and we do it as the starting point? Yeah, so it's just a thought.
what would they prefer? Would they prefer time off? They got a lot of time off, so we're looking for time.
No, they don't have a lot. That's it. They're only getting 32 hours that they cannot carry over. So, and you don't get more than.
They've got to do it, have to time of it, have to work.
No, they're all, they're
I mean,
They're 5, but they only work 6 hours a day. So both positions cannot work more than 60 hours in 2 weeks. So 30, well, water is actually 32 hours for some reason. Around the job description.
so,
So here, if you go to page 12, that's where the classifications are. And we did clean some of this up. The only part I recall is under the general part-time, because we were trying to differentiate. What is the difference between general part-time and regular part-time?
mhm.
Regular, they are required to work less than a 40-hour work week. General part-time, who are scheduled to work less than a 20-hour work week.
Right.
So,
Right,
but the building inspector, for example, works over that. Or he was in the summer months when he first started. So it's just not consistent with what we're actually,
but it's not, it doesn't depend on how late he works, it's what they're scheduled.
he's not scheduled though, he doesn't have a set day. So the way this classification states is that he can't work more than a certain amount of hours a week. And I don't disagree with, I agree, I'm just not sure how to go about it, with changing all of those benefits from how they are now.
Look, you just,
But yes, it's something to be considered because I don't think some of this has been looked at in a few years. I also think, you know, I know one example that did not follow the handbook when the person was hired, so we're kind of stepping outside of this again.
well, because you're there, it doesn't make- you can correct it.
Right.
Regular part-time employees now take benefits?
One does, but not all benefits of a full-time
Yeah.
employee,
Okay.
so. Right,
So this is something that, you get to put on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Who they are, what, and figure out who gains what. And who does, or who loses, right? No one may lose, they might say, well, like an extra 50 cents an hour, just to, I don't need these benefits. But,
well, is that a labor attorney question of what can be a better way, or we just need to compare what other towns do, or Mark's experience, for things like holiday pay, longevity. And, you know, this committee can make a recommendation to council, but that doesn't mean they're gonna wanna change it either.
Yeah, because a general part-time position isn't the issue, it's our two regular part-time employees and then balancing their benefits to that of a full-time employee that gets all benefits. We do need to clean that up so that moving forward, it's well defined.
And I like the idea of simplifying it. And we're really just talking about owners, so making it right, and obviously we want to make it right for them, but also.
And spelled out in case somebody leaves or to leave that new hire can, they can.
Right, and having that last person in, and then this is what we're suggesting, just to keep it clean.
Mhm. Yes. Okay,
so, and this, so that's more work. This committee's gonna happen.
okay, so this was your last meeting with us. Thanks for all your efforts and hard work on this. Right. It has been, it's been good.
Well, thank you
A
again.
lot of progress.
No one ever wanted lunch and stuff.
What's that?
Yes, yeah, thanks, it's been fun, it's been, we worked through some stuff and, I'm sure you'll do quite well going forward, this, you know,
Hopefully Beth and Cindy, each meeting, we can kind of try and make a better game plan for addressing what we just discussed at this next meeting. Kind of gives you guys an idea of the outstanding items that are not as simple
Right.
as just going into the paragraph and adding a sentence or delete, so.
but the, you know, the thing is, this is a powerful commitment. I mean, we're responsible for the engagement of all the employees that are in town. And if they become disoriented or don't like the way things are being done or treated, that's a problem. So that's our mission, to kind of do that. Keep them satisfied. It's But it's fine. Unfortunately, a lot, I mean, our employees are terrific, for the most part, right?
Right.
Cindy, I recommend that before our March meeting, we'll go through some of these words that Mike has spelled out, just making sure that either they need to be struck from the document or
Yep.
changed.
Yeah.
And then maybe do a quick overview in March again and see where we're at and everything. And we need to add those couple categories that Meg brought up earlier.
Right, and, once I get through a end of February deadline, I should be able to dedicate a little more time to this. So, heading into March. If not before the next meeting, at least kind of really making some headway in March and April. So maybe Mark and I can even get together, and make a game plan for some of this outside of this meeting, and then where we can be even more productive during the meeting. So, and then Cindy and, Beth, were you guys able, you kind of looked through some of what we had done,
Yeah,
and then, you know, another set of eyes is for HUD, brought his experience for that year, and then, so we're getting there. It's just gonna take a little more, a couple more of these items.
should come away.
Cindy, anything else you want to add before we close today? She's showing on the screen.
Said what's smaller.
Or Georgetta, anything to add before we adjourn for the day? Nothing. Maybe we're having Zoom issues.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you, Mike.
No, sure.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know how that got, sorry, I'm here. Thank you so much, Mike, for all your work and everybody. And let me know what I could do in between too, Meg.
Thanks, Cindy.
All right,
Yeah.
take care.
And it was nice working with you as well.
Yeah, thanks, Georgetta.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.